Has to be played.
Oh, my God.
I now call to order the meeting of the Oil Flood and Wastewater District. The time is 5:38, Mr. Clerk. We've already done the roll call. Can we please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The next agenda item is the approval of the agenda. So are there any requests for changes to the agenda? Hearing none, is there a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The agenda will be approved as presented. Moving on to the next agenda item, new staff introductions, and I will turn it over to General Manager Tomko, please.
Thank you. As part of this, the strategic plan and overall goal to attract more people into the wastewater and water fields, we attended hiring events at Solano College and other hiring fairs and worked with Baywork to recruit interns to join our team. We have hired 6 interns with 2 more on the way. I will have the directors introduce their interns, starting with Jeff Tucker, Director of Business Services.
Hi, good evening, trustees. I'd like to introduce to you Jackie Morris. Jackie's here. Jackie comes to us from the University of California, Santa Barbara, where she just graduated with her bachelor's degree in political science and communications. Congratulations.
Olivia Ruiz, Finance Manager.
Finance. I'd like to introduce you, Finance Division's, 2 interns. This is Julian Guerra. Julian is a senior going to San Jose University, majoring in economics. Yaksua Zetaboy is a junior in college at the Redlands University, and he is majoring in economics. You want to, introduce yourself?
So what intrigued me in this finance intern position was I have some family connections in the water industry who happened to connect me with Jeff, and my aspirations to grow a career within finance led me to applying to this position.
What led me here as well was an interest in public finance and government, taking a really deep interest in the economics. I thought it would be really imperative to get that experience in a government agency. So the one fun fact about me before we move on is I've done 5 years of martial arts, so.
Oh, good. Next, Tracy Rideout, Director of Technical Services.
Hello, board members. Thomas, you want to stand up? You got a fun fact for him?
Fun fact, I can speak Spanish.
Thomas is a lifelong Napa resident. He's studying mechanical engineering at Cal Poly San Luis Obispo. Thomas has a passion for the environment and waste reduction, which piqued his interest in becoming an intern for us. He's hoping that his intern provides him with real world experience in evaluating whether wastewater is a career he wants to do. And he's performing some utility mapping for us and helping develop our asset management program and GIS. Thanks, Thomas. We're going to introduce Ashton Peterson. Fun fact, Ashton?
I like all these, I don't know.
What do you call them, oldies?
70s and early.
Ashton will be attending UC Davis this fall, having completed some junior college work at Santa Rosa JC. Through this internship, he's hoping to build connections, learn more about professional engineering work, and explore the intersection between public policy and municipal engineering. Maybe future board member here. Ashton is assigned to development engineering, and he's learning how to perform plan reviews, assess for engineering standards, and do conditions of approval.
Johnson Ho, Director of Operations.
I didn't ask him to speak, so it's not fair if I get. So Gabriel came from Baywork, who is the organization that we partner with, specifically targeting water and wastewater. Whether it's trade, whether it's community college, that's what we got him from, Solano Community College. His dad is in the wastewater industry, his brother's in the wastewater industry, it's a family thing, yeah, so. It is the fun fact about him, he chased Pokemon and he collects Pokemon's cards.
you champion yet? Close?
Sorry?
Are you champion yet in Pokemon?
Nothing like that.
Well, thank you. All the interns, you're more than welcome to stay for the whole meeting, or you can go, whatever you'd like.
I didn't give Jackie a chance to talk if you
Oh.
wanted to. Your communications.
There we go.
A fun fact, I like to do yoga, and this position really interests me based on like working in public policy and being able to send strategic messages to the community.
That's excellent. Welcome all of you interns, and it's amazing that this organization takes the time to do that, you know. Bringing up new leaders is really important, you know, to all agencies, but this one in particular, so it's welcome to all of you.
Good job.
Next, we have a presentation. Sorry, from Ms. Mary Ann Butler.
Yeah, so I can introduce that. The district has been collaborating with the Solano Resource Conservation District on environmental education programs since 2007. Over the years, our partnerships has expanded to include programs for elementary school students, program for grade 6, in addition to the ongoing high school biomonitoring program. These programs not only fulfill our permit requirements, but also provide valuable environmental educational to students. The programs have been very well received by students and teachers. One of the primary goals is to inspire interest in careers in science, particularly in water and the wastewater fields in our local community. Our speaker today, Mary Ann Butler, she's the Deputy Executive Director of the Solano Resource Conservation District, will present information about these programs with a special focus on the high school biomonitoring program.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Board. I love being here. I really appreciate spreading the news and the information about our programming. All right, let's see if this goes.
There you go.
Okay, I'll give you just a very quick background on the RCD. And just so give you an idea of where we're coming out of, we're based out of Dixon. However, we work throughout the county. Our county is lucky enough to have 3 RCDs in our county. And again, we work throughout the county. We work to restore, protect, educate, and enhance on the local watershed in our county. We are a special district. We have about 55 different projects that are happening throughout our RCD and about a $4 million annual budget. And there's 4 different fields that we focus on. So I just wanted to bring attention that we are also doing a lot of other programming in Vallejo. We're doing the enhancement projects, restoration enhancement projects at Lake Galloway. Also, we are working with the Lake Watershed Alliance in the district at Glen Cove, doing restoration projects there in Benicia State Recreation Area. Along Rindler Creek, we have a project for many years. We've been at Rindler Creek. Let's see, we've been working with the Bay Area Butterfly Festival. We helped coordinate that this year. And I believe we've been planting lots of monarch in Vallejo, or lots of milkweed, and we saw our first caterpillar recently of the milkweed that we're planting. So if you would like any more further information, I'd love to talk more about that at a future meeting. But for now, I'd love to tell you about our watershed education programming. Our goal is really to get students outside, and we're doing that through various funding sources, as you can see up above. We are thrilled that the district has been partnered with us since, I think, as you said, 2007 or 2008.
Yeah.
Since I started back then as well, I was a coordinator at the RCD, doing the biomonitoring program, working with, I think Jennifer Harrington at the time and Jennifer Kaiser. I'll talk a little bit more about that program. We also have some other programs that I'll quickly bring up that we're doing. We have 6 K-12 education programs and 3 adult and family education programs. This past fiscal year, or calendar year, I guess it is actually, this past fiscal year, we educated nearly 11,000 students across Solano County. We're working to get students in every city, nearly 400 classes, 111 field trips, but in Vallejo specifically, 2,300 kids, 85 classes, 14 field trips. Our 3rd grade program, again, it's been working for about 20 years now. Every year we work to reflect on it and see how to improve it. We were able to get 42% of all classes in the county outside. In one of these pictures, you can see Supervisor Mashburn has been a big advocate and a champion of our programming. It's been great. Supervisor James has come and supported our programming. We have a handful of different classes at Glen Cove. So the students start at Glen Cove and they hike over to Benicia State Recreation Area. They look at the organisms in the creek. They're working to support our planting activities at Glen Cove. So it's nice to kind of tag team both restoration and student education. One story I just wanted to quickly mention, I think one of the highlights of working at the RCD was a moment when this woman in the picture, Deb Partons, she was a retired naturalist. She had a group of students at Hans Park, and she went into the bathroom early in the morning to just make sure they were clear and it was okay for sending students in there. And she found this little hummingbird that she drew there on the ground, and it was seemed gone for her. So she had on her pocket, she unzipped her pocket and just kind of put the bird in there. She's that kind of woman who would do that, zipped it up and went off. A couple hours later, she was with this group of students, and she felt little like movement in her pocket. So she gathered the students in a circle and she's like, I have something to show you. She unzipped her pocket and she put it in her hand, and it was there and it flew off. So those are the kind of moments that we always hope for. And they may not always happen like that, but an example of the things that we're doing with students. We also have a 6th grade program where we're taking the students out to Brush Ranch Nature Center. They're also getting in-class lessons with our programming. All transportation is paid for all of these programs. Transportation is included. It is quite challenging, and because it's so expensive. So we are working with different various folks. The city manager at Suisun City is working closely with us to use their microtransit. So we're piloting that this year to see how microtransit can work. So if anybody has any ideas in the future of how to get students outside without using the expensive busing, which is usually about $1,200 each round, that would be great. But that's one thing that we're working on. In the meantime, in these photos, you can see students, they're doing soil tests, they're doing plant identification. They look at water and they test the water, and then they come back and they write poetry about their experience at the Suisun Marsh. We're working with the Solano County Poet Laureate this year to help enhance our poetry part of the program. And then our school water ed program is not directly funded by the district. It's funded by the city, all the cities in the county and the water agency, but it allows us for any class in Vallejo to call us and we come in and talk about water conservation, drinking water sources, stormwater. It allows us to give students presentations, and there's a small field trip for some classes. But the main program that I wanted to talk to you about tonight is our biomonitoring program. This year, we were able to bring 238 students in 8 different classes out to our local creeks here in Vallejo. And we've been working with Vallejo students since I began back in 2009, 2008. And what's really amazing to me about this program is that we have a long-term data set of the local creeks we've been analyzing with a professor from Portland State University. And he analyzes the data of the students every year. We're monitoring at Sulphur Springs Creek with Benicia High School up in Hidden Brook, Upper Blue Rock Springs Creek right underneath Jesse Bethel and up to where the golf course starts. We are at Lower Blue Rock Springs Creek and Hans Park. We're monitoring at Brindler Creek and at Chabot Creek with MIT Academy. So various groups of students will go to the different sites to monitor. While there, I'll mention that prior to that, we go into the classroom several times to prepare them for the field trip experience. So they're doing different kinds of analysis in the classroom to prep them. For the biomonitoring assessment that they do during the field trip, they are looking for the bugs in the creek, the macroinvertebrates. And by looking at the bugs, you can figure out how healthy the creek is. You can give it's an index for biotic integrity score for it. So each creek has been scored over the years. I would never guess that when you give bugs to students, they would be so interested, but in actuality, they really are. So that's what's happening with the bio group. The habitat assessment group is measuring the riparian zone, analyzing getting the measurements of the riparian canopy, the sediment, what's at the bottom of the substrate. And then the chemical group is taking dissolved oxygen, conductivity, pH, all kinds of measurements with our probe here. So with all of that information, the students go back to the classroom and they are able to get a creek health score, the IBI score. And then Professor Edwards goes through the data and he presents at the Vallejo Watershed Alliance meeting every June of the data that he collected. So we did get some news, some PR this year, but I'd love to play just a quick video. It's just about 2 minutes to give you a glimpse. I'd also like to add that there's another video on our website under the biomonitoring program that has Dr. Pat Edwards. It's a little bit more thorough. This one is kind of quick and sweet, but it will give you an idea. We were just at Hans Park a few months ago, and that's where it takes place.
at a local creek in Vallejo, talking to the students about, our creek health, doing different types of tests. We're doing our biological tests, chemistry tests, and habitat tests, assessing aspects of our creek.
We've got about 24 students here today, and so we'll rotate through these sites. So we'll come in, they'll do the water chemistry, then they'll rotate and do the physical habitat. And then later they rotate into a third group where we do the biosector and look at the aquatic invertebrates that we find in the street.
It has been a great day. I remember when in high school where the kids came in for the fields that they were excited. I think many of the students were not expect what they are seeing now, but they're having a wonderful time. And it's a great time for the students to learn biology outside of the classroom.
I came from Vallejo High School, and this is how far where we're at. My favorite thing today was that we caught the critters, and there were some unique ones that I never really heard about.
I feel like it's fun, and the environment is like nice. It's cool to find out new things, see the,
Really is important to talk about the health of our creek and how it can affect not only just the surroundings around here, but also all the way to the ocean, right? Because where does our water come from? Where does it go? Is are very important.
With mindset, they come to the future what is different when they go out. They're having fun learning that is good. And so that's my favorite part.
we got to go outside and see a lot of nature and like look at the organisms that are in nature.
This is like a unique experience, and I actually did this when I was in high school. So it really is something that is not an everyday type of thing, and to be able to have this experience and then continue it like now working for OMLCD is just an amazing experience overall.
I just mentioned that the last lesson, we go back into the classroom after the field trip, and that's where we bring up careers and opportunities for students and how to get involved in the future. We talk about the wastewater district and other entities. So as I conclude, okay, I'll just mention if anybody's interested in our Vallejo, our Solana Water Institute. We bring teachers all across the county, especially in Vallejo. This year, we have more teachers than ever from Vallejo joined our program, and it's a teacher training. We have local agencies giving presentations to teachers about our water resources. So it's happening soon, so it might be too late notice, but it's the last week of July 28th through 30th. July 29th is our boat tour. Alex Rapidu with the Water Agency will be giving a presentation. So if anyone has any last minute changes they can make in their schedule, we'd be delighted if you joined us. And we are working with the district and the city to do outreach, talking about our water resources to the farmers markets and the local boat launch here in Vallejo. And finally, we work with Michelle doing the coastal cleanup or the liaison with the county and the coastal commission. So thank you all for your time and letting me talk about this information. If there's any questions, I can answer them. Thank you.
You have a business card?
I do. I'll grab some. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll start with
Yes.
Commissioner Gordon.
Oh, yes, I just want to say this is exciting. I love the diversity of the inclusion of the students, the curiosity, and they seem to be so into it. Two of my children got a chance to participate. They're all grown now.
Yeah, wonderful.
So it's so good to see that you're still doing it and getting our kids outside.
Yeah, that's
Their
right.
hands-on learning.
That's right. And I think it makes such a difference. Jennifer Harrington was just telling me, she saw her children go through it too. And when you get to see it in action like that with your kids, it makes a big difference. I'm glad you get to see
Thank
it.
you.
Yeah, thank you.
No, just appreciate the relationship and the collaboration you have with all the school districts to promote all this education
Yeah,
for the kids, so great.
yeah, thank you.
I would encourage the board to visit them in Dixon and really go out there and visit, especially as resources and funding are getting tight. This is an entity that really looks at the county as a whole when we're talking about environment and agriculture, and we know that our county is an agriculture county. And that thrives off of our creeks and our rivers and our water. And for Vallejo to be a part of that conversation would be really poignant for us as trustees, especially in our other roles, to look at how we could continue to support that, especially with the diversity of the students that mainly come from Vallejo.
Thank you, Supervisor James. I can send an email just with my contact information and open up a date anytime that you want. We'll have you at our office, and I can also give you field trip dates for the next school year when we're bringing kids outside in Vallejo, and you can join us there as well.
Thank you much.
I'll come if you guarantee there will be no bugs. Other than that, you have my ultimate support. Maybe I would love to be able to see the kids come more than just once.
I'll think about that. There's probably a good month where it's a little bit, quieter. It might be cold. You might, we'll dress up and.
I can be warm.
We're gonna make that happen. Thank you.
But I think it's fabulous work and I really do.
Thank you.
On the serious side, I appreciate all that you do. Thank you for your work.
I did have two questions. One is, how healthy are our streams in Vallejo?
Yeah, that's a great question. I would say that they're about standard as the rest of the creeks throughout the county. The professor at the university is actually working to calibrate a new system for our region specifically on how to quantify the results. Rather than having to go through a statewide IBI score, he's trying to make a regional, like Solano County specific score. So that should be piloted this coming spring. So and perhaps you all can write in BWA meeting in June, because that answer will be covered at that point.
Okay. And then my other question is, are the public able to donate to your program for like paying for transportation and things? And if they
Yes.
can, how do they do that? Is there email or?
Yes,
How do they
if you don't mind, I'll grab these sheets here. I have our impact statement, and it talks about ways in which people can donate towards tax deductible. So if I could pass these around, that would be great. Thank you. Okay, thank you. Thank you all very much.
That's great. Thank you so much for the presentation. Moving on to our next agenda item is the consent calendar. Mr. Clerk, is there any members of the public that would like to make comments on the consent calendar? Mr. Clerk?
Oh, sorry, there are no, there's one comment for the other, and that's from results.
People hear that.
1 second to arrange the PowerPoint with the, but there's also.
I'll wait for the order agenda item.
Oh,
That's not a consent.
Oh,
this is the consent?
oh,
No, your comments not.
this is the time for me to comment? Okay,
This is comment on the consent calendar, yes.
all right, great. Terry Saltz, concerned citizen representing the PETA data that we're providing the past few months. This month, or not this month, but June, saw a reduction in the number of reports. We saw 24 reports. This is the pattern from this past month in June. We saw 41 from the month before, so it was a pretty big reduction. Not sure why, but that's a positive thing to see a reduction in the number of reports. And the PETA site now has the ability to not only filter the map, as I reported last time, by a date range, but now there's a downloadable report. The download report does, it's a little messy because it's just raw data. These are being massaged as far as, longitude, latitude versus addresses and that type of stuff. But now, the public has the ability to download the data directly. I've shared that with the district. And we will work on kind of cleaning it up. So it's a cleaner looking report when it does download. So I look forward to reporting out to you, next month on status. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any requests from the board to remove any items from the consent calendar?
When you pull a or D, I just have a random question.
Sure. So D will be coming 6.1, 6.1. Any other items from the consent calendar?
F.
F. F will become 6.2. Others? Do we have a motion to approve the consent calendar?
Yes, I move that we approve the consent calendar with making item 6D, or I'm sorry, item B as 6.1 and item F as 6.2.
Yeah, all in favor? Any opposed? Yeah, the motion carries, so we'll hear 6.1. The which is item D, pulled by board member Matias. Did you have a question?
Yeah, I have a question for legal. Are you guys incorporating language into agreements, to account for artificial intelligence?
In general or specific to this?
Not specific to this in general. I mean, you guys are reviewing all the contracts for the agency, so I looked at whatever amendment you guys were trying to include in here, and I didn't see that, and I'm guessing it's because it's not relevant, but I was just wondering if your team is already incorporating AI language in the contract.
I mean, generally, if it's a contract that we think warrants incorporation of, AI intelligence, is certainly something we consider. As a matter of practice, it isn't something like a standard template language that we just plug and play. It's really based on the scope of work, the type of risk involved, and what we think the scope of professional service will entail. I will say our office doesn't review every single contract that comes to the district. It's usually contracts of high dollar amounts, or, projects of significance, capital projects, long-term projects, things of that nature. And I think, Jeff Tucker is standing up. That to speak to as well.
I want to let you know that we're right in the middle of drafting our generative AI policy for the district. That
Right.
policy should be done in a few weeks. But it does include not only the employees of the district, would include any contractors that we have and anyone who's working at the behalf. So they would have to follow our policy, regardless of whether it's in the contract or not. That would be a requirement of all contractors.
All right, sounds good. Just want to make sure that was being thought about and accounted for. Appreciate it.
Any questions? Sure.
I do have a little concern when we made the comment that we don't see on all the contracts. To where, I mean, for me, I would think it'd be best practice just to, on an annual basis, to review the contracts. And if any of them, not necessarily need amendment, but if there's a better practice to do out there with some of these contracts, as times change. I would like to think the legal department reviews that and looks at that practice, moving forward.
Absolutely, it's something we're in constant communication with the general manager and his team that we go through. One of our longer term projects that we've been taking little pieces at incrementally is revising templates as we see fit. That way we have more of an input. But when we first, as legal counsel joined the district, did a risk assessment and felt comfortable with the level of service, the form in which the agreements were in. Certainly there are things that that are forthcoming to this board that obviously we're taking a deeper dive into that have, more long-term commitments like the biosolids, long-term procurements and things like that.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
Any other questions on this item? We have a motion to approve 6.1.
Yes, move to approve, item 6.1.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Then we'll now hear item 6.2, the Mary Island report, and that was pulled by board member Gordon.
6F.
It's 6.2 now.
It's 6.2.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Sorry.
Sorry.
No, I think she meant the monthly investment report, is that what
Yes, mhm.
Not the Maryland.
Not me, right?
Yeah, no, it's,
Oh, you said F.
yeah, 6F, yes.
6F is
I
Mary.
mean, right now, I apologize. It is the financial investment.
different things?
Yeah, must be, because ours says Mary Island.
F is the Mary Island report.
Yeah, mine is.
Yeah, we have a.
That's apologize, there must be a typo on the repeated agenda, it's, if I'm correct, it's received by the monthly
Yeah.
investment report.
F is to receive the monthly investment.
Yeah, mine says F.
Oh, yeah, so I guess this agenda has two.
So I-
pages.
Boy, I think there's a discrepancy based on what was printed versus what was posted. So on the agenda that was posted and made available to the public, item F is receive and file a monthly investment report.
That's what I was asking for.
Okay, so we'll hear that item.
Yeah.
And I apologize, so your item, the D was the authorize the Solano Stormwater Alliance Agreement, that's the item you were proposing?
Yes,
I just want to be clear.
but I also wanted to hear about Mare Island, so maybe general manager, if there's any update you can share as part of your report, I'd appreciate it. So I thought that that's what.
Oh, so he was gonna ask, but he thought that's what I was asking, so who wants to pull two?
I'm not.
Well, it's too late, it's not too late now.
It's too late to pull
Too late.
it. He asked you, I have it included.
Oh, I see.
Managers, but we will hear now the item F, which is receive the monthly investment report from the year 2025.
That is correct, yes.
And if you have questions specifically, board member Lloyd.
No, I just wanted to, my question is to tell me a little bit about it and I see this is it, correct?
Fabulous.
Yeah, that's it, right? I just wanted to know a little bit more about it and to find out, is this available to the public? And I believe that you said it is. But it's, unfortunately, when I pulled it up on the internet, it was a blank screen, that's probably my fault, not yours. So,
No, thank you for bringing it to our attention. So, yeah, we bring this report, our investment report, every month to the board for approval, and we also post it on our website. We do have some changes to our website, where we added some accessibility, features, so that might be causing some of the issues.
Okay.
We've had given Eddie some feedback on that as well, so we'll double check that, on the reports on the finance section, but we do post them to the public. We have about a year's worth of.
13 months.
Yeah, 13 months worth of investment reports that go through everything, and so it's just a timing difference for this month because it's July, but we're putting May, but it's a timing difference to get the items to the board clerk in time for the agenda. But yeah, so a little bit about the investment report. It is required of us to report out to the board our investments to the board. So we partner with Chandler. We hired Chandler to help maintain our cash and investments, and we've had them since
2000,
2000.
I'm sorry, 2020, excuse me.
Yeah, and we kind of talked about this in the past in some of the meetings, but basically they help monitor our cash and we get our revenue from the county and we invest with Chandler and Chandler does our investments each month and we report that through the report here, all the different fund investment terminology and stuff. And so
well, thank you. So I got this today. Thank you very much, Eddie, for your help with this. But I just wanted to, ask, for all the investments that you have, how I say this without sounding negative. So in your investments, and you totaled them out, this is in this report, what your complete total is? Of your investments?
what page? Trustee?
No, I'm just asking, I'm asking the
Oh,
page. I'm asking the page, where it's okay.
If you look on the first page of the portfolio summary.
Right here?
That page, yes,
Bottom.
then you'll see in the middle area where it says account summary, it's gonna
Okay.
give you our market value of the investments that we have in the total market value, which
Okay.
right now is around $70 million in the bank.
That's the majority.
Right, and we get a fairly large chunk of money from the county in April, because that represents that money. And that money is then the money that we have to maintain, we don't get another payment really, we get a small one in December, in June, but that's what carries us through December.
Okay, because I remember last meeting you were saying one of the complication is that you don't get the money from the county the way you would like to get it. And so it makes it kind of hard for you all to plan. Did I hear that correctly at the last meeting? Something about you would like
It's
to,
not the way we don't want it or not want it, and kind of the way the state law works, we're not in an effort to, in any way can change that. But it does come to us just twice a year, so
Right.
we have to manage our cash flows in a way that allows us to have enough money to carry us for that 8 months.
that's what I thought I heard you say.
Right.
Okay, yeah. Well, thank you so much. That's what I all need to know. Thank you. So that balance is right here, 70 million.
Any other questions on 6.2? We have a motion to approve 6.2. So moved. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Thank you so much.
Motion carries. We will move on to the next item, which is a public hearing. There are none. Next is administrative items. We have one agenda item, a general manager Tom Cole, which will to announce that item.
Sure, absolutely. Olivia Ruiz, our finance manager, will present this item.
Good evening, Board of Trustees. This is just information item. We bring this agenda item every year, but basically for tonight's meeting and the purpose of tonight's meeting is just informational. But basically it's about the sewer service charges, stormwater charges and upper lateral charges that we kind of just talked about. We bring our revenue and we place it on the tax roll, basically. Quick agenda, I'll be real quick. So this is just a timeline of the events. So we brought to you guys the schedule of fees back in June board meeting, and we also adopted the budget. And as you know, with the budget, we included our 5-year rate plan. And so tonight's meeting, July 15th, this is just informational going through this item. And August 5th, we're gonna have a special meeting. We're gonna have a public hearing where we're gonna ask the board for you to allow us and direct us to put the charges on the tax roll. And it's required by the county for us to do that. And then we place that on the tax roll with the county. And then again, like Jeff was saying, we get the money, the revenue twice a year, once in December and then once in April, and then we get about 2% in June. And so the county the county charges us about 1% admin fee of the total fee. And so it really does save us a lot of money here at the district for our ratepayers. We made this transition back in 2017 where we were doing direct billing, and now we've got the property tax roll. And this allows us to capture all the property owners within our service area and be able to collect more funds. The report that we post is a listing of all the parcels that we put on the agenda, website, sorry, and we also have it available, with the agenda, right, yeah. And so like I said before, August 5th, we'll have a quick public hearing, so it'll be really quick, it'll be 2 minutes, and then, you'll help us direct us, put that on this tax roll. And so just next step, we'll see you at the August 5th board meeting and ask for your direction. That's it. Any questions?
Yeah, open the floor to questions. We'll start, we'll go along.
Those are you did it with.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
I have a quick question. So on your check register, I saw that there were some charges for, I'm guessing connected to this lateral ordinance that we passed, the sewer lateral ordinance, and people were filling permits or paying. Have you guys done any modeling around how much revenue is gonna come in connected to that effort?
So are you talking about the upper lateral program? So the upper lateral program,
Yeah, we budget, from our sewer service charges upper lateral, and so we bring in, we budget about $450,000 each year. But the check register is an actual reimbursement to our customers who meet the upper lateral program. Is that, you're referring to the check register? And so as long as they meet the criteria, we're reimbursing them up to $3,500 for that program, to replace their upper lateral, yeah, that would be on the check register, but yeah, we do budget for.
Yeah, I mean, I saw it and I was like, oh, I guess this went into motion. And so I was just thinking like, I wanted to better understand how much revenue you are anticipating to come out of that program in this coming year.
Yeah.
Oh.
I didn't forget.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay.
So on the property tax roll, we've been collecting for decades now at a special fee, that's a sewer fee, that's about $24 per year. That's on all the properties for the upper lateral program. That's the funding source for the reimbursement program. That we collect around $800,000, I think is next year's number. That allows us to do the reimbursement, but also pays for staff to do inspections and administer the program. And so we budget I think it's 450,000 in order to do that. That's usually more than enough to cover what we've done in the past. The new program that we just did, because it's a simpler program, more people can qualify for it. And because there's now the requirement for the upper lateral inspections when homes change ownership, we are expecting more activity. So we have a fairly large amount of revenue that we're collecting that's been dedicated to that. We also have a little over $1.3 million sitting in fund balance. And so if for some reason the program ends up being much more popular than we anticipated, we have the resources available to cover that. But as we do that and as we see that throughout the year, if there are any problems with oversubscription, we have the ability to come back forward and talk about how the program is working and how it's being funded. So we don't think there's going to be a problem. We've modeled it out. We think there's enough budget, enough revenue to cover it. But if for some reason we don't have that, we have the resources to cover it. And then we can come back to you about any policy changes that might need to be made.
So based on the amount that you have modeled and budgeted, how many applications based on the modeling you can accept?
We've probably taken about like 400 applications, but it's also a timing thing as well.
Go ahead.
Yeah, and so, we probably receive about, 20 applications a month, from ratepayers that are submitting for the upper lateral program. And depending on when they do the permitted inspections and they meet the criteria and all that, is when we pay out the reimbursement, so.
No, I understand that. I'm not concerned about the payout and so forth and on. I'm just looking at the modeling from a perspective of if you say I'm just gonna use $400,000. When we're doing the modeling, we're basically saying that potentially can provide
X amount.
Yeah, so that's what I'm asking. That's my question.
We can fund about 150 a year on that budget. I think when we did the presentation to you, we estimated there were about 800 properties per year that transfer ownership from Vallejo. Not all of them would be eligible for that program. They're, newer homes, that sort of thing, don't qualify. So we anticipate there's actually been about 150 is more historical number. We can certainly do more than that, but that's roughly the number we'd be expecting to come through the program.
So if we have 800 families, like you said, 800 houses that turnover. And if, I'm just curious, and you may have not done this. If we look at the number of houses that we have and we're modeling toward looking at where those houses are, the ages of those houses, and potentially just thinking, not just the historical number, but potential turnover of those homes. How many of them are in that bracket? How many of them aren't in that bracket? And you might not have.
We don't have the demographic data on like the age of homes that are turning over and the types of homes in the area they're in. We're hoping through the program throughout this year, we'll be able to collect that data so we can do a lot better analysis, but we don't have the data yet.
And so is there any way at some point that you would work with, just with some of the different real estate agent, organizations and maybe see how we can collect that data just to kind of have as we move forward, not just what happened historically, but what could potentially happen as we are looking forward. When you have time, or you may not even consider it.
Absolutely. We have worked with the realtors already. They've been great partners with us and putting the program forward. And then because every home is required to do a report, then we'll have that data automatically of every house transaction. So we'll be able to get the data. Realtors has been a great partner with us on that already.
Okay, thank you.
To the upper lateral, do you have an idea of how many homes have already taken advantage of the program, the upper lateral payment program?
I think we put something in the performance measurement report, but I wanna say it's like around 400 and something. I don't know. I'm not really sure.
The entire reimbursement program?
Yeah, so I'm just wondering, like, because I think it's a one-time per parcel, right? Like,
Right.
So do we have an idea of how many homes in Vallejo already use that program and?
We can,
We'd have to get back to you.
Yeah.
It's in the thousands. Okay.
Approximately 12,000.
So less than 10% of the homes and. Well, I don't even know. how many
There are
homes
about 35 to 38,000 homes in
Okay,
Vallejo.
so about a third of the homes have already have used that program.
Right, and that's one of our performance metrics that we put forward on the performance measurement report. We track the percentage of homes that have had a reimbursement or the lateral replaced since I think 1990. And that number is in the high 30%, it's like 38 or 39%.
And then do you know how many homes have had to have multiple upper laterals replaced? Is it like once they've done it, they never have to do it again? Or is it that they've done it and maybe they live someplace where there's lots of trees and they have to do it a second time in 20 years? Do we have any idea?
I don't believe
Yeah.
we have that.
I mean, typically, we use HDPE, so the type of flexes, it moves, so usually you don't have to do it again.
Okay.
Usually where there'd be a change if they're doing some remodeling or something, want to move something or move the pipe, and that would be all on them.
Okay.
But I'm not aware of many that, the pipe, if they replace the pipe with HDPE, that they had to replace it.
Board member, if I may, they're only eligible for one replacement and reimbursement, so we don't track further than that, so we don't know.
But in the 2 years I've been here, we haven't really had any customers inquired about that since I've been here, so I think that's.
Well, with the turnovers, hopefully you'll see like, maybe there are, because if you're not tracking once they've had it replaced, maybe we'll see more in the future, so I think it's interesting. Any other questions from board members?
Yes, how are they aware that they qualify for this program? There's something on their bill, because you won't know about the billing part, because you don't bill them, right? So how would they know about the program, that it's available to them?
We have a district newsletter that's referenced on there. A lot of times we get phone calls from customers or walk-in customers, and we're always handing out our upper lateral program flyers. Through the inspection, through permit inspections or type of thing, we always offer our customers the upper lateral program flyers that we have as well. And so we're constantly doing outreach to them. And same thing with the Realtors Association or anybody else. And Michelle's out back there, so.
If I may add,
Yeah.
we also have a relationship with our preferred contractors. The local plumbers, so they have that information. And if they use one of those contractors that we recommend, they normally suggest our upper lateral program to the residents. And we've also spoken at the senior roundtable that Tom Perky heads about the upper lateral program, as well as including it in our quarterly newsletter.
Thank you.
Thank you, Michelle, appreciate that.
Questions for board members? Okay, Mr. Clerk, do we have any members of the public or in person virtually that want to provide comment on this item?
We have no submitted public comment.
0. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Clerk. This agenda item is information purposes only, so no action is needed. Let's move on to the next item, the general manager's report.
Perfect, thank you. So I'll touch on just Mare Island to start. So last Thursday, we provided a tour to a reporter from the Vallejo Sun on the sewer infrastructure on Mare Island. So we were just interested, had heard some things going on. So we provided them, kind of our view of what's happening in the sewer system and the stormwater system, and then took them for a tour out there. As far as that's in the administrative item, one of the things that we've been working on with President Source is, and Palmeiras, Trustee Palmeiras, it was on June 30th that there was another meeting that we had with the Maryland company and us, looking to see, what are we doing moving forward with infrastructure. One of the big things is the reimbursement agreement, and we're in the conflict order. We're like, well, we require a reimbursement agreement, so we continue to review the documents. And so they've sent a signed document back. We've signed it, and so getting that taken care of. And that's about it on Maryland right now, that's happening. Other things, the district received 11 proposals for our next strategic plan. It's a 5-year plan. So we'll review the proposals, conduct interviews, and select a consultant. This is the one that really provides you as the board the opportunity to really provide direction to the district. This will be 5-year, we'll have a consultant that'll bring in ratepayers, staff, everybody to just really look at the district overall. We have some big issues with, Mare Island, with the nutrients, some big capacity. So really getting your perspective on, what makes sense for the district. So we're really excited about it. Also looking at the value for the district overall and how we can build the organization of the future. The district provided a written offer on April 16th, 2025, that included an appraisal to the city of Vallejo to acquire the property of 50 Solano. So this is for our nutrient project, clean water project. Any help you can provide to have the item placed on the city council agenda would be greatly appreciated. I've been working with Andrew Murray. Right now it's maybe looking like September, but I think it's had us for a long time. We really need to move on. It's a critical path item for us. Our new human resources and safety director, Leah Maksud, she starts on July 28th. Leah is an experienced HR professional with past HR experience at the Asian Art Museum Foundation that's in San Francisco, and she's worked for the cities of Pacifica, Modesto, and Fresno. I want to thank HR and the safety department, Kim Foster and Nicole Perez, for keeping everything moving, especially during recruitments. We did all the interns, had a lot of recruitments lately, and kept them all going. And especially to, Jeff Tucker for being interim HR director for leading that for several months. June was another no spill month for us, which means there were no sewer spills. This Saturday, July 19th, from 9 a.m. to noon, the Vallejo Watershed Alliance will be celebrating its 20th anniversary at Blue Rock Springs in the lake area. They'll start with the cleanup at 9 o'clock, and then at 11 o'clock, there'll be a barbecue lunch. It's to thank the volunteers for dedication to make Vallejo a cleaner and safer place. If you going and want to RSVP just for the food, you can go to the Vallejo Watershed Alliance website or call 707-652-7812. And any additional questions you may have about it, you can see Rochelle or Jennifer on the back, and you can talk at length about it. And that's the end of my report.
Great, thank you very much for the report. Moving on to the next item on the agenda, which is community forum. Mr. Clerk, do we have any members of the public wishing to speak?
Not at this time.
Okay. Moving on to the next item of the agenda, report of trustees. Do we have anyone that wants to provide a report? Start. Wow.
This is where I can ask a question too, right?
Yes.
Okay. I want to just ask, I've been on this quest of preparing our city for any type of disaster, whether it be earthquake or whatever the case may be. There's a lot of concerns with hacking, cyber hacking. I know we touched a little bit on this before regarding the cyber hacking, and you advised me that you have a lock program for that. But what about for disasters? Are we prepared for that? Is the community prepared about your customers and whatnot as well?
Yeah, so we do have a plan that we work with in the county, so our hazard mitigation plan. So we do that. One thing of note is our safety manager, recruitment is out as well, and so they'll lead that effort as well. But there is a plan that we have with the county. And then we host drills, safety manager will host drills, every quarter here, to take a look at it, like earthquakes, things like that.
Is there anything that we can, be able to see physically, tangible, like we can look up on your website?
The county has information on multi-jurisdictional hazard mitigation.
You go to the county website where you can email my office and we can send it to you.
Okay, that's pertaining to flood, water, and waste? Okay.
Because the county.
Right.
Oh, that's right, that's what they said earlier, okay. I will do that, thank you.
Just as a note, in the last earthquake that we had, which was
2014.
2014. One of the things that the district does to help the city is, we have a lot of our workforce that has their water certifications. So during the last earthquake, we still paid for their water certifications, just in case if there's an earthquake and they need our help. So we try to maintain this so we can help the city as well.
I noticed that, the reason why I brought this to your attention, because I noticed that a lot of older apartments are seeming to have issues with their plumbing. And every time, we get that notice, oh, we just had an earthquake, but not strong enough where, it gets the news attention. But I also noticed afterwards, there's like leakage, there's issues with plumbing and whatnot. And that's what made me think about, like, are we really ready for all that? Yeah, thank you.
Let's see, is there any questions, any reports? Okay, great. Well, then, thank you all for the reports, and I will now adjourn the meeting at 6:30 PM.
Oh.
Thank you.
I wasn't as fast as you guys.